Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard.
Oh, I'm sorry, no audio. Sometimes when you flip between these screens and put yourself in and off the camera, it will mute you. Can you hear me now, Brett? Speaker should be on. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I was flipping between the screens for the beginning, and sometimes it hits the mute, and I forget to look down at the bottom left to see that I am muted. Hope everybody's doing good today. Good to see James the Advisor. I want to talk about some American watches today. So, some American watch companies that I'm sure he will agree are not truly American, as they source a lot of their parts outside of the U.S. Evan G's making some coffee. Brett Wasserman, my Zenith aficionado compatriot, also has a Defy Skyline. Good to see you. David H is in the house. The Watch Apprentice in from the UK. Always good to see everybody. So don't forget to hit the upvote and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help. I pinned the link to the top of the chat. If everybody wants to jump on the stream, everyone's always welcome to. What's happening out there? Any watch news for anybody? Anything happening? Oops, sorry about that. Got a little background noise going on there. But yeah, so exciting stuff, obviously in my world. Evan said he likes the Seiko chronograph. That's the one I picked up Saturday. Threw it on today. There's something different while we're sitting here around the house. Seemed like a good time to wear it. What do you guys, anybody have any thoughts on American-made watches? Any American watch brands that you guys like? I would agree with a conversation I had with James, the advisor, before, that most of them aren't American, in that they source their parts from, mainly you find Asian movements in them in most of the American brands, but doesn't mean they're not good watches or they're not American companies. They're just sourcing their stuff from overseas. There's not a lot of truly actual American made movements, and where everything is an American made piece. I was investigating a company today called Dryden. I'm not sure if we've talked about them before on the other channel or not when we did our American watch company reviews, but I always found these watches to be kind of attractive, these Dryden Heartlanders. So kind of a field watch. They do three styles of watch, the Pathfinder, the Heartlander, and the Chrono Driver. I've always been kind of a fan of the Heartlander. I always like that field watch kind of vibe. Always got to me. James the advisor says, I like Detroit Watch Company. Patrick is a very nice guy. Swiss movement. RGM has American made movements. Yes, RGM does have American made movements. One of the few. We will be moving on to them. We'll take a look at Detroit Watch Company too. I'm going to take a look at a couple of these Heartlanders because I just always thought it was a good looking watch. Big solid looking crown, screw down crown, 100 meter water resistance. The very kind of classic looking size. It's a Miyota 9015 in there. It is 38 millimeter case with a 46 lug to lugs and 11.2 thick. So it's not super, super big. 20 millimeter bracelet, tapers down to 16. So it's gonna wear nice. Dome sapphire crystal with AR coating, 100 meters water resistance. I like a minimum of 100 meters just to make sure. Just to make sure. Let's see. Mark, did you see the watch PG unbox? Does it remind you of a picture I sent you? I did not see PG's unboxing. What did he unbox? I'm assuming on Timmy's show last night. Picture that you sent me. Let's see. Let me go back into the archives, see if I can figure out what this thing is. Let's see. Oh, did he get the let's see. Huh. Did he get what that was the Constantine Chaikin collab with somebody. The kind of monstery looking thing? Is that what he got? The Time Eater, Louis Erard, yes. Let's take a peek at that real quick while we're thinking about it. Pull that one up. So he got that one. Ooh, that's a cool watch. Did he get the newer one, the black version, or the older, the white one there? Watch Apprentice. Let me see. Where is it? There it is. Share this tab. Did he get this one? Brett says that watch was quite cool. Yeah, that's a pretty cool watch. So is this the one he got? The newer, the dark one? Yeah, the black one. Cool. I like this one better than the other one. This one has more of a monster vibe. The other one had more of a Joker vibe to it, you know, like a Batman villain. So I kind of like this one a little bit better. The eye is the hour hand. Yes. Very cool. Very interesting. PG has cool taste, interesting watches, doesn't do the normal stuff all the time. So always cool to see when he has an unboxing. Unfortunately, he's he lives in Cleveland and he's a Browns fan, so he's kind of he's got to make up for that by bringing other forms of happiness into his life. Just teasing, just teasing. Only 4K, huh? Yeah, so this is the collab. He's doing those collabs with Louis Erard, so that's pretty cool for that money. Very cool. Watch Prince says, I've had my eye on this for some time, but never pulled the trigger. Why not? Why not? James Advisor, going back to our American thing, says Weiss has Swiss movements, Loomtech, Oak and Oscar, Dufresne, Cobalt, Devon, Autodromo, just to name some. There you have it. Yeah, so there are some Swiss movement ones. There are some. I get the pun. Oh, I missed the pun. I just totally missed it. I was up there reading James's thing. Brett has had the RGM Pilot Watch, black enamel now. Cool. We'll be looking at those here. To Watch Apprentice says it was unintentional. It happens. It happens. But that's cool. Good for PG. I think Loomtech. I'm going to talk about Loomtech. I think that's in. You used to be able to get those at like. I don't think he has them anymore. Yeah, you used to be able to get those. I wonder if our friends at Exquisite have Loomtech. No. Where do you buy a Loomtech these days? I know I used to see them on the market on some people's sites. I don't see them anymore. Long Island Watch, I think, used to have them. I thought Exquisite had them as well, but I don't see them on either site now. Interestingly enough. Back to Dryden. I just always thought this was a good looking watch. I'm a sucker for the 369. Yeah, I always like that kind of go anywhere, do anything, feel you get out of a field watch. There's make some interesting dials. think I'm kind of partial to this. What do they call this? Autumn rust. Autumn rust. Yeah, it's a good looking piece. It's like a nice bracelet. I like that. I like that big crown. I like the knurling on it. I like that it's kind of a mix of brushed and polished. It's all the things that I like in a watch. Excuse me. Little compass on the back of it. Looks like it has decent lume. Yeah, Brett, you have my stuff. If you want to send me a picture, I will gladly pull that up. Gladly pull that up. I always say, does anyone actually need a better watch than a Helios? Yeah, absolutely. What do you guys? Helios is another good brand. You don't see very often. Bruce, is that a that's an Omega in your thing? There you go, in your avatar. The dreaded Globemaster. I like that watch. The tungsten fluted bezel. But yeah, overall, I think these guys do a nice job. So a lot of times when what you're looking for, who's making the movement? Is it a movement that's going to last you a little bit? And what kind of effort are they putting into the bracelets, in the cases? What's the polishing like? What's the actual the feel of the bracelet, the clasp, that type of thing? How good or cheap is it? But this company always interested me. It's a signed crown. It's not a super thick watch. Looks like it'd be fun to wear, easy to wear. Bruce G says, yes, the Globemaster. Teddy Bolus, our most worn watch last year. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's the in the Constellation line when you go to look for that on the Omega website. Omega does not make it easy to find their stuff. And the Globemaster is in the Constellation line, not to be confused with the Railmaster, which you'll find in the Seamaster line. I don't know. I don't make all the news. Sometimes I just have to report it. Logan Hall, good morning, sir. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. So that was the Dryden. Now, James, you had named a bunch of watches here. I think the first one you suggested was what? Detroit Watch Company? Am I correct there? Go pull these guys up. Watch Company. Welcome to the Detroit Watch Company. Oh, that's a good looking watch. It's actually a really pretty watch. I think I sometimes get these guys confused. Who's the other company out of Detroit that I probably? I think it's a lesser company. The tiny wristed amongst us are checking in. Dear Artifact, how are you, sir? I would never call you a rat bastard. Well, okay, to your face. I would call you a tiny wristed rat bastard. Shinola. Yeah, Shinola. That's when I always get. I think when I think of Detroit, I think of Shinola. Not my favorite. It's but this is a good looking piece here. Let's take a look at the collection on the Detroit Watch Company, see what we can't find that looks interesting. They all kind of look interesting. They all look like nice watches. Don't look like they're horribly priced. Like we're anywhere between 1,500 and maybe 2,400. So it's not like an arm and a leg. Oh, here's one 1400, a little 3-hander. So it doesn't look like we're asking an arm and a leg. Oh, 1,000. Couple for 1,000, 1,100. All right, cool. So let's take, we got a 42 millimeter time zone exhibition. This watch kind of caught my eye. Let's take a look at this guy. See, now that's a good looking watch. I like the hands. I like the case. The case. I like the lugs. It's a Swiss movement in these, James is telling us. I like the little D on the bottom of the second hand. This is the counter. Fleur-de-lis on the date. On the date hand. That's just kind of a cool looking watch. You're looking for something in a... oh, it's not a date. That's a dual time. I'm sorry. My bad. Now I see a better picture of it. That is actually a pretty cool watch. James, I don't think we have given this watch its due before on any of the streams. Probably it's kind of the first time I remember really looking at it. It's actually a pretty nice looking piece. Let's see. RGM makes most of the movement, but the last I heard, they still source balance completes from Switzerland. I don't think the tech to make anything advanced exists here in the States. Also, we have the strictest made in the requirements out of any country. Interesting. G says France only requires 51% of the value to be made in France. Switzerland, I think, is similar. U.S. basically almost all has to be made here. Yes. James, I think that's a battle you fight. Trying to find something completely American sourced. That's pretty cool. James says Evan, Shapiro, Keaton, Merrick, and RGM make their own now, I believe. Yeah. There's a lot of interesting stuff. It's interesting to see like what goes into, we hear a lot about what it means to be labeled Swiss made. We don't hear a lot about what it means to be American made or French made or those types of things. So these are kind of interesting topics to get into. James says, Mark, I owe you one. Very nice watch for the money. I own one. Very nice watch for the money. It seems like it. It seems like a very nice watch. Which one do you do? You have this one or do you have a different one, James? I love the signature that they put on their crown. The knurling is cool. It really, I can't really fault this watch. You could maybe say the counter on the second time zone and or the on the second hand and the with the fleur-de-lis on the second could be a tad bit busy, but that's really getting nitpicky on it. I think it's a pretty cool looking watch, especially for that kind of money. Let's dig into this back. Oh, here's the back. Yeah, I mean they do a nice job making this a good looking alternative piece. Oh, I like it on the flat link too. That is the so that flat link reminds me of the 57. The Omegas, Evan has that Mega Speedmaster D57 in red, the world's greatest watch, as he likes to say it. I have on the Speedmaster, it's the reverse of that, so it's shiny in the middle of the bracelet and polished on the outer edges. And I tend to like this more from I don't know. I mean, I had that other one 5 years. I did not put any major marks on it. So it's hard to say that that these would be better or worse. Buckley, I made scrambled eggs this morning in honor of you. Hold on, let me show the scrambled eggs here real quick. Brent did send us a picture of his RGM. I want to pull that up first. Thank you very much. So this is Brent Wasserman's RGM. We want to have Brett on here one day and go through, because he has a watch collection I think that a lot of us would like, because it's got some different things in it. So we already know he has a Zenith Defy Skyline. So he's one of two of us in the world that at least have it. And some of the other watches that he's mentioned, I'm like, this guy's got a pretty good collection. He's holding out on us. And it seems like when we start to talk about something, he has a little bit of information that is good to have. Eddie's looking all says Eddie's going to be scrambled like those eggs after Buckley defeats him in the bench press challenge. Yes, I've heard there are feats of strength going on. Is that next week or this weekend? Geez, it's time flies. Time flies when you're back to work and but yeah, a little bit of info. Well, I didn't mean it as a slight. I just meant that you seem to have like a little insight that we don't. A lot of us don't have into some of these watches when we bring them up. I'm always curious as to the extent of your collection, because, and I like the fact that you like different things. So, like when I'm talking about before I picked up the Skyline, there was, most people were like, "Don't do it." But there was one person, Brett, who said, I got the black one. It's a really cool watch. So I like that stuff. That's good stuff. Let me back out of the RGM. The RGM's cool. We're going to go into RGM a little bit. Those are cool watches. But I wanted to show Buckley my breakfast since he was in late today. Boom. So, eggs. 3 eggs. Scramble them up with a little bit of water, salt, pepper, and then right at the end of mixing them, before I put them in the pan, I put in a little sprinkle of dill. I didn't have any fresh dill, but I have this jarred dill that's actually pretty good. It's one of the glass. I can't remember the name of the company now, but it actually tastes like dill. Like some of the stuff you get is just like, it's like tastes like paper. But that was pretty good. So the scrambled egg recipe you asked me for the other day, Sunday, I think I actually made today, because, well, who doesn't love scrambled eggs? I mean, in all reality. Let's see. So, yes. So James is still working on his. Watch Apprentice, yes, we are working on the dial, and once that's all done, we'll start production. Probably looking at January. I'm very excited to see this, and James, very, very excited. We've talked a little bit about it, and you've talked a lot about it on the streams and stuff. So, I mean, let's see. Logan Hall, would you say that dill was a real dill? Logan Hall's in with the jokes today. Look out. On the screen, we have the Detroit Watch Company. And I don't believe we've ever really talked about them. I guarantee you there's a lot of streams that never have. I don't know that I have, if maybe in passing. But actually, it's a pretty nice looking watch. I'm glad you brought that to our attention. So let's take a look at the specs real quick. This is obviously a company out of Detroit, but they are using an ETA-based movement, 2893-2 GMT function. Automatic and manual winding, 21 joules, 28.8. So they haven't slowed it down. It's 42-hour power reserve, rhodium finish, custom rotor with Côte de Genève and blued screws. Just 42 millimeters, polished stainless steel, brush finish on main case section, 9.7 height. That's actually pretty thin for a GMT. 52 lug to lug, so it's got some presence. I like the lugs on it though; they look good. I bet you that wears more like a 50 with the way those lugs are done. Sunburst dial, calf leather with deployant. Yeah, it's quick release spring bars, so that's nice if you want to change things up, do something different with it. I always like that. I don't know why everyone doesn't do that now. The Zenith is so easy, and it's been a revelation, if you will, in the world of uh, strap changes. There's times I'll just for no, just there were times with other watches I've owned, like Omega's notoriously hard to get if it's on the bracelet. On the bracelet is very tight. It's a lot, not a lot of tolerance there. So it's even though on the back they have some holes, it's hard to manipulate in and out sometimes. It either pops right in or it takes you an hour. With that Zenith, it takes me 15 seconds, and I have a completely different looking watch, which I think is kind of cool. James, did you tell me which one of these Detroit watch companies watches that you have? Not sure. I'm looking through the chat here. I don't see it. 42 millimeter M1 blue hands. Okay. You did tell me. So you have. Well, that's not blued hands. 42 M1 Woodward. Oh, Woodward Classic. These are all M1s, huh? That's what they do to you. That's how they get you. Train 1701, punch train. Oh, here it is. Boom. That's a nice looking watch. You're saying that those hands are actually blued? God bless America and Brian for saying, Mark, are you saying your Omega is a tight shitter? I may like that. Oh, Brian. Yes, it is. It is hard to move the lugs on that or the bracelet on that off the obviously if it's a rubber, if you're putting a rubber on and off, see, now I'm just walking right into Brian talk now. If you're using a rubber strap on your watch, it has some flexibility in the strap itself to make it easier, but the tolerance on the bracelet to the case is not easy to deal with. Evan says the best quality, highest precision watches used to be made here in the U.S., but we can one day bring more of that back home. Absolutely. I like to look at these, and I know that in the U.S. we have a lot, and when I say a lot of micro brands and stuff, and I like a lot of those. I'm a fan. I try to support them. One of the reasons I try to support them, though, is I would like to have more availability of American watch brands. I would like to see them do more of them. Bronch's Brian with the advice: always use a rubber when you have a tight shitter. Yes, there you go. Psycho bunnies. but that's the thing. A lot of the micro brands are all designed very little watchmaking, right? So what we'd like to see is more actual watchmaking out of the U.S. I want to pull up RGM here. Anybody have any questions on the Detroit watches, the Detroit Watch Company? And if you're looking for something like this, I mean, I'm basing this on James the Advisor's advice and on the pictures that I'm seeing on their website. These watches for the money look really nice. Looks like there's a lot going on here. Now, these aren't American movements like we've been talking about, but they're Swiss, they're Eddas. So they're pretty cool. So the dial on that is satin white, is what it's saying. It's not saying enamel dial, Evan. It does look like an enamel dial, though, doesn't it? It's a pretty watch. And satin white hour indexes with loom, blued subdial hands, and tachometer hands. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Uh-oh. Buckley's battle plan. First step of the battle has started. The AP is on its way somewhere at an attempt of a trade. FAP and have a lovely day. Damn. Dun, 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 dun. Evan G says, at Buckley, burn it all down. Burn it down. Ooh. So I mentioned Sunday, people, when looking at an integrated sports bracelet watch, I ended up going with the Zenith. I actually considered the 12, the Christopher Ward, but I wanted a little bit nicer of a watch, and I wanted someone who's kind of maybe doing their own movement or kind of thing. So that 5 hertz really appealed to me. So I ended up going with the Zenith Defy Skyline. And I couldn't be happy. I can't even tell you, every time I put that watch on and I look at it, how happy it makes me. And isn't that really at the end of the day what it's supposed to be about? And I say that because the watch makes me happy. Okay. No, it's not the be all end all of my happiness, but when I look at it, I think, pretty nice watch. In fact, you know what? I'm putting it on right now. I like it that much. But I mentioned Sunday that the way some of these watch brands act, because there's so much demand for their pieces, it's like I think what I said was I don't need to be judged that much from a watch AD. I get enough. I'm hard enough on myself. I work in a completely a 30-day judgment zone. And so monthly, I'm judged on my productivity. I judge myself based on work and personal things and different ways that I'm judged. I'm sure there are people that just judge me. I'm sure there are people on the streams that judge me. That's all great. You know who I don't want to judge me? My watch AD. I don't want to have to go in and sell myself like that. So burn it down, Buckley. Burn it down. That just that type of thing makes me insane. Thinking about that type of thing. So yeah, burn that sucker down. So anyway, anybody else, any other thoughts on Detroit Watch Company before I go over to RGM? Brett says I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I just when you're in the business of selling watches, which is great. I like to buy watches, so I'm not going to argue that, but I don't need you judging me as a person, me financially, so I have friends who have, that don't understand my watch obsession, but they have lake homes and camps and, they have more than one residence. I have a very nice house. But I have one house, you know, and part of the reason I have one house is there's other things I want to do with my earnings, like watches is a part of that. So, oh yeah, I 100% agree, Evan. The AP has gotten a bit big for their britches. Like Buckley has said 5 years ago, their watches were sitting in cases at a discount, and it could go back to that. You never know with watches, you know. Frank Mueller was the biggest thing ever a few years ago. Still makes the same watches. There's still not, some of them that if you like that type of watch are nice watches. But wow, they're just watches and they fell out of favor for whatever reason. So you never know what is going to make that thing a reality. So RGM's a Pennsylvania company, I believe. Let's pull them up. Now I know we've looked at them before. When I did the US Watch show on the community early on into my 50 some episode straight run, we looked at some of these RGMs, and there's some beautiful watches in here. Some of them that I like the most are the simplest. So this model 151 is a very elegant, simple dial, simple watch. This 151 GR Pilot in gray, wow. If you like something a little bit more, these professional pilots, either with or without the date, not crazy about the orange, but if you want a little bit more, they even give you the Pro Aviator, which I always thought was a great looking Flieger watch. 4250, you know, not cheap, but I don't believe cheaply made. James Advisor says Mountjoy, PA. Is that Eastern Pennsylvania? I'm not even sure. I should know that. Living in Pennsylvania, I should be more up on top of that type of thing. But I think that they do such a nice job. So I like this watch. And you guys know I kind of like that. There's a big part of what I like are just kind of simple designs. I like Fliegers. I like field watches. Not big into chronographs. But that watch I remember looking at that watch before going, that's just a good looking watch. And then if you want something, they do super fancy stuff. Look at this model 25. There's one with the Buffalo, USS Constitution, but this Spiral Garrett, this is the one. Yeah, we'll look at this one. These Guilloche dials. Look at that dial. Look at, I mean, the work that goes into that is amazing. You guys are saying they're making their own movements and stuff. It is a great price for that. Are you talking about the first one I looked at there? I'm sorry, I was on the screen. I missed the chat, but yeah, it was a great price for that watch. And even these Guilloche watch. I mean, here's one of these Guilloche watches for $89.50. It's not crazy money. You know what I mean? Some of these independents, you look at them and you talk about too big for their britches. Wow. Yeah, even yeah, a lot of them are expensive. There are some expensive RGMs, but they're not all. Like, I don't know if they have a price on this Tourbillon or not. Yeah, so this one you're getting into the Tourbillon, you're getting into the rose gold. I mean, there's a lot more going on. Yeah, I don't think he has. This might be a price on request watch. But these watches made in Pennsylvania, Evan G says Breitlings with that kind of work start at like $20K retail. Exactly. This here it is. This is the other one we looked at that day when we looked at them. I just thought this was a beautiful sector dial watch. You guys know I like sector dials. $3,500. Now, would it be crazy of me to want that watch over a CK859? Which you guys know I like the CK859, but a CK859 is going to run me 5, 6, 7 grand, depending on when and where and what the market is as far as finding it. I think this is pretty slick watch for $3,500 in a sector dial. $5,700 for the Guilloche dial, but it's not really the true sector dial that I know and love. You guys know I am an absolute sucker for the Breguet. Yes, Breguet. That makes more sense. I was kind of curious what I'm trying to think about it, like a fancy Breitling like that. I couldn't. I'm like, Evan knows Breitling. He probably knows more than I do. But yeah, the Model 250, $3,500. I think that's a deal. What do you guys think? Bruce G says European watch company has a CK just for you, Mark. Make an offer. Yes. I go back and forth on that watch. And then I see things like this sometimes, and I'm like, well, wouldn't I just be, and this is a bigger watch. This is a 42 millimeter case. So it's going to fit me better than the 39. And it's just a beautiful handmade watch. So simple, so elegant. The only thing they could do to make me happier was to get rid of the date. Blued hands. Little super luminova in there. Cool looking second hand. I mean, it's just a good looking watch. Kind of has those IWC Fleegery style hands, on the sector dial. So I don't know. Watch like that hits crosses off a lot of boxes for me. Yeah, that's the other part on this one is the serviceability. How easy are parts to come by? Does he make his movements interchangeable with ETA parts? Brett says that RGM starts with ETA movements. That's cool. James, the advisor, is still out there. What do you think of this RGM? Brett, what do you think of this RGM? Knowing my love of the sector dial. I think it's kind of a cool watch. I don't have a lot of complaints with it. And $3,500 seems like a pretty reasonable price for that thing. So Mountjoy must be near Lancaster, I'm assuming, because it says, not doing the PA, he's doing the old school Penna. Penna. That's kind of cool. Haven't seen that. You don't see any, because when they switched to the 2-letter state designations, Penna went out the window. Nobody says Penna. Yeah, so Brett says he loves it. Like the blue hand. Yeah, those are cool. Those hands are cool in it. Let's see. Evan says, yeah, I looked into the BHI and watchmaking courses, and I just can't be bothered to spend the kind of money on all the tools. But part of it is learning how to manufacture parts from scratch. That's cool. Bruce Shea says the shape of the hands and the date aren't great. I don't mind the shape of the hands. I wish it didn't have the date because it has 0 numbers on it. So it's I don't think it needed the date. Watch Prentices. Evan G, maybe like Cartier, they just didn't change the complete movement. The old debates that come back. The old debates never leave, never truly leave. What are you gonna do? It happens. Teddy did a video interview with Roland Murphy, and he showed the Rose engine and how it works. Cool. Let's look that up. That Teddy Baldassar, that small-wristed, tiny-wristed rat bastard himself. What are you gonna do? He is what he is, But that being said, this is a pretty good looking watch for the money. For $3,500, that's a really nice looking watch. What did the Brian? I don't know if I know you were flying out to Vegas today, so I don't know if you're still out there. The watch that you got from Del Rey, the Del Rey watch. I want to say that was close to this kind of price, right? And that was completely sourced. I mean, that was a Swiss made, sourced watch. That they put together the way he wanted, but Evan G says, I had the Cartier thing confirmed by someone that works in service for a large jeweler. They do just swap the movements. 2,500. Okay. So yeah, for grand more, you're looking at a handmade, American-made watch. I think it's a pretty good deal. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. Certainly be the only guy at the Red Bar with that on, I would think. Let's see. Does any, aside from Brett, does anyone else out there own an RGM? This looks a lot like Brett's. Let me go back to Brett's watch here. Oh, Brett doesn't have the sub-seconds, the small sub-seconds. Other than the small sub-seconds, it actually looks a little bit like Brett's watch. This one has like cathedral style hands and small second window. And the railroad track set on the for the minute markers. It's kind of cool. Have a cool watch. $3,250. If you're looking for something different, you're looking for something to support someone doing something in that's doing something in the States, trying to do something, as much American made as possible. That's a pretty good look. Evan G says, sorry to get a bit off topic, but I got to see an Anordain at my last Red Bar meetup. Just reinforced my desire to get one, but they're registered interest for like 2030 at this point. Yeah. You have to find somebody selling one or gray market or I don't know. I mean, to get on one of those lists, and then I don't know what kind of judgment is involved in the Anordain list, but that's they're cool dials. That was I think Teddy Baldassar helped them take off too, because they were that was the first time I ever saw one, was when he showed one. He showed that kind of purplish dial, reddish purple dial, and it was gorgeous watch. But is what it is. But yes. So yeah, these RGMs, you don't have to go. Evan says it's first come, first serve, but they just only make so many per year. So when you come up, they ask you which model, which dial you want, take a deposit, then take a full payment when it's done. Cool. A lot changes in life over that kind of time, though. I mean, you're talking like 6-7 years. If you're out to 2030 on something like that. So one of the cool things, like Evan said, he thought that these were all like crazy expensive watches, and they do some crazy stuff. and some expensive stuff. I saw some of these that are price on request and stuff like that, but they do some interesting watches too. If you like this caliber 20, this I don't know what you would call that case. Not quite a tonneau, not quite square, but kind of cool. Look at the beauty. Look at that dial. He's got the Pennsylvania. All right, so if you guys, let me see if I can make this big enough so you can get a good look at this. We have, it's not going to let me make it any bigger. Dang it. All right, so if you look at the end of the hour and the minute hand, he actually incorporated the shape of the crest for the state of Pennsylvania. State troopers have that in their patch on the side, on their sleeves. That's kind of cool. That's interesting. That is interesting that he did that. I don't know if there's a better picture of it. It's a good looking watch. Doesn't look like a small watch either. An open face version. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's see pricing on it. Oh, 29.5 in stainless, 42.5 in rose gold. A lot more going on in that watch. But I think it's cool that he's not only doing super expensive watches, that there are different types, different pieces for different people. Anyone have a favorite RGM? There's a Bicompax chrono, the model 600 chronograph. Kind of a basic look, good looking. Military aesthetic. Easy to read. Not seeing pricing on this one. Oh, $42.50. Yeah. Again, not crazy money. So to be in the RGM family does not cost you everything. I think some of these are really good looking watches. These are not, I would assume not investment watches. I don't think, you buy an RGM thinking, well, I could turn around. So I don't know that that's really the case. But they're good looking. And what's your favorite? Anyone have a favorite thus far? I don't know. Drop the link again if anybody wants to jump on. You're all welcome. It is pinned at the top since I learned how to do that. I can even make a poll. Do you prefer? Ooh, what am I doing? I'm messing it up. So we have a poll. Do you prefer microbrands or independents from the USA? And your choices are microbrands, independents, or James the Advisor. Evan says he'd hop on, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays are busy meeting day for him. I get it. I get it. I hope you're feeling good. I kind of saw your thing when I was going to pull up Brett's picture. I didn't have the time to go through the whole thing, but excited to see what's coming. So there you have that. So yeah, that RGM's a cool watch. Like I said, it hits a lot of different price points. So if you're a collector like a George Varghese who likes, some of the bigger, more expensive independents, they have stuff that might appeal to someone with a collection like that. They have stuff that obviously appeals to someone who collects like I collect. And it looks like kind of in between stuff too. So cool deal, I think. Yeah, luckily COVID, yes, good thing. Felt like a head cold with a bit of a cough, but working from home because still testing positive. Last time was it February, and I got a pretty decent case of it, but I tested positive forever after that, and the doctor said you're just going to keep testing positive because you had it for a while. So Small G in the house, thank you, sir. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. So the Watchbox, Small G, the Watchbox people reached out to me, and off the girl, I can't remember her name, that works there. She wasn't who I dealt with on the watch, but she said that she's like, you're in Pennsylvania, you should come out sometime. I'll give you we'll do like a tour and stuff. So I'm thinking of planning something like that. If you're in that area, in that Philadelphia area, if you want to come down, that would be cool. I'm going to go check out the Watchbox Philadelphia studios and location. I think it'd be kind of an interesting place to go. But I'll let you know if I get anything planned with them. You're very close to them. Yeah, cool. So yeah, if I plan that, we'll plan on meeting and bring you over. We'll go check it out. That would be a good day. Good time. Not as much fun as going out to dinner with Tim Wright. I'm not that exciting. I mean, I am sarcastically funny though. So that's always a good thing. Did anybody watch Monday Night Football last night? Has anybody noticed on the what I added to the scroll at the bottom of the page that apparently the Beatles were wrong and you need more than just love. The pack is not back. Bala Simon. Cool. There was a girl who reached out to me. So I was dealing with Nick, who was out of New York, and he had the watch was actually in Philadelphia. So had the people over in Philadelphia sending me extra pictures and a little video and stuff, and answering a couple questions I had about the actual watch itself. And they were amazing to deal with. But then there was another girl that reached out to me. And I told her, I said, I'm going to save you my contacts and I will take you up on that offer. I have something else I'm trying to see if they can source for me here in a month or two too. So yeah, I can't say enough. I know George was on Sunday talking about how much he likes the Nashville Watch Company, which is cool. And I think it's important as a community, whether it's this channel or any of the channels in any community, that we talk about our experiences with some of these different places because it's important. It's stuff. These watches are expensive and they mean something to you, So when you have a good experience with someone, share it. And I had a very good experience with them. And I know that people have had good experiences with, like, say, European Watch Company, and like I said, Nashville. I know George. I know Brian has mentioned Nashville Watch Company before as well. I think European Watch Company maybe Buckley went through before. So yeah, anytime I told you I had a little. Not that there was anything wrong with the watch per se, because the watch itself is absolutely gorgeous. It was brand new. It was an amazing deal on it. It upgraded my Aquaterra like I wanted. And as you guys know, I'm a big Aquaterra fan. But when I was having problems with the screws on the bracelets with the Loctite, and I called into Joma Shop to get some advice on that, they treated me like the proverbial redheaded stepchild and told me that I broke the watch, or that one of the people I took it to had broken the watch, and was the reason. And I finally did get it done, and the guy who did it, very professional guy, said that there was an amazing amount of Loctite on those screws. So that's just no good. No good. Hate to see that stuff. But yeah, excited about the watch box, people. So, RGM, anybody else on RGM before we move on to someone else? I just think that they make that surprisingly they make things for different people at different price points. I think I had always assumed that sort of like Evan, that they made crazy expensive stuff. And I did the American Made show on the community channel. Small G says, Mark, which watch are you interested in? Watchbox. Their price might not be the best, but good thing is you can check the watch in person. Yeah. So that is good. And so you guys know that I have this thing for the IWC Aqua Timer. So I'm going to see if they could source like a year-old one for me. Something like I found on the Zenith. So I got to imagine there's some of those watches out there. My local AD does not carry the Aqua Timer. They just don't carry it. They said, 2 weeks to a month to get one in, blah, blah, blah. But they, my issue with going through them, my local AD for a new one, is that they're already trying to talk me out of the watch that I want. Because they just, not that they can't get it in even a rather timely fashion, they just obviously don't care for it. And that's a little disconcerting from a salesperson perspective. I would much rather deal with, that they said, oh yeah, we get those from time to time, or blah blah blah, anything. Don't just automatically try to talk me into a Panerai. I don't want a Panerai. If I wanted a Panerai, I'd be asking about one. We've discussed, I don't hate Panerai. I don't even hate the way they look. I just don't like the way they look on my wrist when I'm wearing them. It's not a satisfying wearing experience for me. So I choose not to. I choose not to Panerai. I'm not a Panerista by any stretch of the imagination. But it's good stuff. So here is hold on, where was it? I lost it. I know Mark at Long Island Watch, he's another one he makes Seiko-ish kind of, he actually does a lot of different watches now. He sells a lot of brands, but apparently they're coming out with a new collab today between him and the the Urban Gentry, Tristano. They're coming out with the Rangemaster 2. I think I saw. Let's see. Let's share this tab. I'd heard about it. The Rangemaster 1 was just kind of a field watch. So I think the hint that he gave is that this is going to be a mechanical line. So here, yeah, called the Rangemaster Mechanical. It'll launch today. So some of the things say 11 a.m. Some of the things say 2 p.m. that I've seen. So I don't see it on the site yet. It is after 11, so I'm assuming it is going to be 2. But apparently they're in stock and ready to roll with whenever their arrivals. If anybody's interested in something like that, should be available soon. He does some interesting dials and stuff. He also carries Formex, which is a brand I always liked. Laco. Not really sure about Aristo. I've never really heard of them. I've heard of the Laco brand. He does Bulova, Seiko's, his own brand. Spinnaker, which makes some nice watches. Phoebus, then his own line. But Hemel, if you like those flight watches, I'm pretty sure he used to have Loom Tech, which we had talked about earlier, which we may go talk to about now. Let's see. Evan G says, oh, wait, hold on. DC in Las Vegas says, oh, Small G, have you seen the pics from the meetup? You're not a small G. I think you're taller than Timmy. And Small G says, no, I'm smaller than him. Tim Wright is huge. Huge. DC says, having met Timmy multiple times, I confirm that his gut is huge. He's got a huge gut. I'm going to drop a link for Tim Wright's gut. His big belly, if you will. Evan says, I like Urban Gentry, but sometimes he's a bit cringe with all the trying. Yes, he can be overly fancy that he does. I mean, if he likes it, more power to him, but just throwing in random Italian words is blah. I know. I get it. He can do that sometimes. I don't mind his channel. I like the fact that he's, it's not his main source of income or anything. He does it, sort of like I do this because I just enjoy chatting with you guys. He does that because he likes, the things that he likes and wants people to know why he likes them. I have one of those things. What's that thing called? Job. Yes, a job. This is not a full-time thing for me. It was for a little bit there while I was off work, but I wasn't getting paid. And I'm not saying I wanted to get paid because I certainly don't want to try and make money off of YouTube. So my plan is not to monetize this. My plan is, however, to try and get enough viewers that I can get a few guests on from here and there. I'm not talking big name, A-list celebrities or anything like that, but people who like watches, people who own little watch companies, people who do maybe some fashion people, stuff like that here and there. Just get people on, do like a quick interview here and there. I think that would be fun. It would add a little bit to the. Brett Wasserman says maybe I'm crazy, but Super Chat doesn't seem like a business plan. It's not a good business plan. I'm sure that Timmy makes a decent amount of money. I've seen reports before about what some of these guys make, in money, but you got to keep in mind, first off, YouTube takes 30% right off the top. And Timmy lives in New York, which isn't cheap. So if you make 120, 30, 40, $50,000 a year, it means different things in different parts of the country. So, like in Pittsburgh, that's a good wage because the cost of living isn't nearly as expensive here. So your money goes a lot further, you know. Um, your If you're in New York, everything's expensive there. You know, if you're in Boston, everything's expensive. So it's different where depending where you live, you know, what that money means. You know. Good morning, Mitchell Halpern. How are you today, sir? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And again, thank you all for stopping by. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate you listening to me babble about watches and life and breakfast foods. You know, I have a good time doing it. Like I said, I consider you guys my friends. You know, in the weird way that people are friends on the internet these days. And it's nice to have someone to talk to watches about and stuff. Yeah, we will also get Evan on here one day when he's less busy and feeling a little better to talk about some pens. Definitely want to have some pen talk. I actually learned a lot about a lot of it I didn't know about pens that Evan has taught me already. So that's cool. And like I said, my plan is to get, if I can get to where there's between 200-300 viewers a show, I can attract a couple people, I think, to come on just to chat about their business and do quick interviews. Nothing super long or intense or anything like that, but I think it'd be interesting to get some different perspectives, you know, some insider perspectives, some outsider perspectives, some watch stuff, some fashion stuff, some whatever, you know, happens to be going on stuff. Um, you know, my salesman who does the Seiko mods wants to come on one day and kind of show some of the stuff that he does. I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah, those are, interesting stuff. Evan says YouTube is a grind. It's a constant hustle. I would get burned out super fast if I was trying to do YouTube as a job. Yeah, it is a grind. So, I mean, my job is a grind. My job is, you know, I live in a 30-day world. You know, when you're in retail sales, that's the way it is. So, you know, managing the sales department, you're judged every 30 days. Your paycheck is dependent on what you do during those 30 days, that type of thing. But YouTube grind is completely different kind of grind because I have some control, I have some input into what's going on. YouTube is just appealing to the masses at the time, and that's one of my issues is as we get, you know, especially as this Watch Time New York thing is coming up, and the drama's ramping up, and the Curly streams and the Watch Nicholas streams, and Blondie came out of the woodwork again because people were watching and listening. You know, um, you know, I don't need all that drama. I'm just here to chat about stuff. So, and Marcelo, oh, what a horrible human being he ended up being. You know, OC can say, "Oh, Marcelo's okay. We'll welcome him back." I heard, you know, I've heard a couple of things that he said about Tim and some other people, and fuck that guy. You know, that's my take on that. You know, Evan G says, "Yeah, Q4. I want to talk ink. I'll bring out all my inks and a dip pen to show folks some interesting characteristics." Absolutely. Yes. That's cool. Yeah, because you got into a little bit on some of the inks the last time we were talking, pens. And that was, I didn't, there was a lot of things I just had no idea. I was completely oblivious to. So, yeah, we'll see if Carolyn Martin wants to contribute any pen talk too. I don't know. I know she does a lot of pens. I see her. She's on my Instagram. Cool colors, interesting properties. Yes. Mitch Halpern says there's a big overlap between watch, pen, car, knife people, and cars. There is. Yes. All those things sort of go. So that's why one of the things I like when I come on and chat with you guys is it's kind of cool because if we talk about cars, we can talk about cars. If we talk about pens for a while, it's perfectly fine. You know, knives. We did the everyday carry episode. That was fun. You know, all that stuff is kind of really does overlap. for a lot of people. So, Evan G, I just do not anytime Blondie is on. Nothing personal against her, but I don't like the direction the show ever took. Once, yeah, it's just bad. It's a bad, but people take sides, and when people take sides, they super chat more, they contribute more. I get it. I just want to talk watches. That's all, DC. You know it. Yeah, the drama stuff is characteristic of those who rely on YouTube for money. Exactly. That's what it is. And when I started doing this, I was, I didn't really solicit a lot of super chats when I did those community channel shows. People would here and there, and it was appreciated. I know Tim appreciated it. None of that, and I can't, again, none of this went into my pocket. And so I was just doing it because I was bored. I was off work and I had time, and it got to be to where I liked hanging out and chatting with you guys. I think actually this scenario where I'm doing it once or twice a week is actually better. Have more to talk about, more, have more fun doing it. It's a little more relaxed, and because it's my channel, I can control who, I hated, like, people would send me messages on Instagram all the time. Why is this person banned? Why is that person banned? This person didn't do anything. And I'm like, God, it's just more drama. And why are those people? And then I would ask myself, I would ask the guys, why are these people banned? And nobody had a real good answer. And there were so many people that were able to ban people, I guess, and it was, I think it's one of those things that just gets out of hand. So this way I can just, it's not that big of a channel to where I need all kinds of people to, even the community stream. You don't need people to be wrenches and mods. You know what I mean? There's not that many people. I can kick out the robots. When the bots come in, they're easy enough to block. It's annoying, but you can do it. And if anybody says something, really, what do I care about? Don't be overly misogynistic, overly racist, or racist at all. That I have no tolerance for racism. And keep it fairly clean. Don't be homophobic. And it's easy enough to do. So yeah. Exactly, small G. Just have to have fun. YouTube is hard. It's a hard way to make a living. You need the drama. I get it. I understand the money is in the drama. And that's why I made the decision I did. I didn't want to be a part of the drama. So I wanted to be a part of the watches. There was another watch company I wanted to look at, because they have a watch that always catches my eye. We've talked about it before, and them before, but it's the Notice Watch Company. These guys are out of Los Angeles. And again, these guys are it's all about design. These are not movement makers at all. They have, but they do some causes. They do some interesting looking watches that I like. They don't build millions of watches at a time. So even like this watch that I like, it seems like every time I think maybe it's time, and I go look at it again, it's not there. It's not available. So this is the black left-hand drive version of the Notice Sector Deep. But the one that I like is, where is it? Huh. They make a, oh, they're not doing it anymore. Huh. May not be doing oh, there it is. Huh, I missed it. Boom. So I just think this is a good looking watch. Always did. I don't know that it's, I don't know if it's worth $600 or not. That's probably my big debate with it. I believe it's an interesting watch because it's a 38, and I'm pretty sure this is one that the bezel is 42. Yeah, 38 millimeter case, 13.6 thick, 47 lug to lug, but the bezel is actually 42. So it's going to wear a little bigger because this bezel is bigger than the case itself. But just an interesting looking watch from an American watchmaking company. Might not show. Oh, no. No, it's on there. Oh, I'm sorry. I made myself big. Sorry about that. I had myself big. So this is the Sector Deep Blue Orthodox. They make the left-hand drive too. So Mitchell has a retrospect, he says. There's the retrospect. You have the orange style one. So this is a sandwich style watch. He says it proves that a bottom end Seiko movement can be accurate if regulated. So this looks like the orange here. Here we go. YouTube is hard. Why does it keep doing this thing to me? There we go. All right, so that is kind of a cool watch. $475. You're not spending an arm and a leg on it. 42 millimeter case, 13 millimeter thick, 48 lug to lug, 22 millimeter lugs. Sapphire glass. What is the movement? Here we go. Movement. An H35. There it is. Boom. Not a bad watch for the money. Why does this thing continuously do that to me? Annoying watch website. It looks like they have like a micro adjust in the class too, which is cool. The Node X, the Notice extension, Node X. I also was curious. I saw something on here when I clicked on that I don't remember seeing before, and I haven't been over the site that often, but there was something. Ever since, I don't know, I'd like to see something nicer than the NH35. You can get those in the gumball machines for a quarter. Yes. Future releases: the Contrail 3, the Dual. This is the one that caught my eye. Let's see here. That's kind of cool looking watch. So that combines that sandwich style, like what you have, Mitchell, and kind of the field watch aesthetic. It's actually kind of a cool looking watch on that H bracelet. I don't mind that at all. That one looks like 40 millimeter, so it's a nice size. Screw down crown. Sapphire crystal. 300 meters of water resistance. I'm assuming that this is going to be an NH35 as well. It looks like they match the color, the date color wheel for your Mitchell on this one. It's kind of a cool looking watch. Oh, that's a dual crown, so that's an internal bezel. Jeez, I didn't even see it. It's hard to, it's not the best picture, and it's the only picture, but it's kind of cool. I love a dual crown watch. I have some dual crown watch news coming. Because you guys know I miss my Legend Diver. There's been other watches that we've talked about with the internal bezel with the dual crowns that I've talked about. The And then I've also talked about the IWC Aqua Timer, which is an internal bezel, but with the cranking deal on it. Just some interesting stuff. Intersect Los Angeles. Yeah, these guys are out of Los Angeles, and I just say they do a pretty decent job. Again, these things are, yeah, they even say proudly designed and assembled in Los Angeles. They're not manufacturing movements and things like that, which we'd like to see more of from the American watchmaking community, but it is what it is right now. You can't have everything. Where would you put it? Where on earth would you put it? We've got 13 upvotes. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. But yeah, so there's different American watch companies. We looked at Dryden. We looked at RGM. We looked at the Detroit Watch Company. We looked at Notice. There is the Jack Mason brand. Anybody heard of Jack Mason? I had a Jack Mason Flieger, like a quartz Flieger from them. It was not a horrible watch. But again, these guys are not, it's design. So Jack Mason is out of Texas. Oh, look, the Dr. Pepper's coming. That looks a lot like the new here's a Majigger Tudor. That sort of aesthetic to it. But Jack Mason out of Texas. Yeah, the red maroon's kind of cool. That looks like a future release. So I guess what they're really, they do a lot of quartz watches, but they're also the Stratotimer GMT. They were kind of known. He got a little buzz about. So this was an automatic GMT, USA assembled and regulated, to be plus minus 5 seconds a day without regulation. So they do. So that's a Miyota 9075. That's that new Miyota with the jump power hand. Yeah, the true GMT. Yeah, true GMT with jump power. 24 joules, 42-hour power reserve. You get a case at 40 millimeters with a 47 lug to lug, so it's gonna wear nice. 20 millimeter lug width, and yeah, solid with quick. So his end links all have the quick release in them, so you can change them up. You know, I like to look at these types of brands because for a lot of people that look at different things and have, you know, relatives, I don't understand why you like watches, or maybe a younger relative that might want to get into watches. You don't want to spend tens of thousands of dollars on stuff. There are options for you out there. This looks like a, you know, everything I've read about it, seen review wise, everyone talks highly of these watches. I had their one Flieger watch. It was just a quartz Flieger, but it was a cool watch. It spent some time in that shitter box. Colorado, yeah, yeah, we've looked at them before. I'm not crazy about them. I think it's cool what they're doing. I'm just not crazy about the watches themselves with the top crown and stuff like that. But they're cool. Yeah, bit large, bit large. It can be true too. Little big, little bit big. So the Jack Mason brands watches. The Stratotimer is kind of the new automatic piece that they're kind of known for. I don't mind this. I think this is actually a Mecha Quartz chronograph. Yeah, I'm a sucker for a Mecha Quartz. I'll admit it. But it looked, they apply the indices on it. It's got the mesh on it, available in different straps and configurations. And but they do a nice job. $419 for that. I know that they always offer like discount codes and coupons and stuff, so you're not paying stuff. They always put the red, white, and blue for the Texas flag there, and the Lone Star is their new insignia instead of just writing out Jack Mason, which I prefer. I think Marathon is a Canadian company, if I'm not mistaken, Brett. Any of our Canadian friends in the audience can help me out with that, but I believe Marathon Watches is indeed a Canadian company. Let's see if there's anything else interesting looking here on the Jacques Mason. Oh, the Hydro Timer. I think that's the other automatic that they're doing now. They started with just kind of quartz watches, all kind of, and stuff. They built up their business a little bit, and I can appreciate that. And here's a coupon just popped up, 10% off on your first three. And I think you can get more if you go. This solar kind of field watch with the internal compasses, kind of cool looking. They did a couple different colorways on this. That was kind of a cool watch. So it's got the internal compass bezel, sort of like a like the Seiko Huzimager. You know what I'm talking about. But you see here's the old, it just used to just write Jack Mason on there. Now they're going with the Texas Star for their logo, which I think is a good move. Let's see if we got Marathon Watch Company. So here's Marathon. Let's go our story. Pretty sure that they are authentic military heritage with modern military design. They're not admitting to their Canadian roots. They're saying North American. You know what that tells you? They're Canadian. Yeah. They make interesting watches, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they're a Canadian watch company. Anybody have a Marathon? I know they do a lot of military inspired stuff. 34 millimeter. Who are they making these for? The Canadian Army must have small wrists. Yes, these small brands are small G says small brands have a hard time to promote their products. Too competitive at below $1,000 range. Yes, they are. James, the advisor's back. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, they do tritium tubes like Ball, so they go 24/7. Yeah, we just looked at Ball on Sunday with George Voorhees. Ball does interesting watches as well. They are definitely an American company. Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, just hit the wrong thing, but that's all right. We can take a look at some of their stuff. I have a particular ball watch that I'm fond of. I know these guys have a pre-owned one. They've had it for a while. It's gone down in price a couple times. I look at it every once in a while. I just don't know that I need it. Wait, they moved to Switzerland? Huh. I don't even know. They're owned by a Chinese private equity firm. Well, we'll be getting them back soon enough because all those Chinese private equity firms are going down the toilet. But this Ball Fireman Nightbreaker I always thought was a cool looking dial, you know? And what should you buy? You should buy stuff that looks interesting to you. And this looks interesting. Wouldn't you say? I know this is not the watches that they're known for. It does have the tritium tubes, but it's just kind of a cool looking. I always thought it was a cool looking watch. Sign crown with the railroad insignia. Everything they do has a railroad theme because of the accident that sort of formed the company, or at least formed them making things. Yeah, their divers are weird. I agree. I like a lot of the engineers, like those firemen's. I had no idea they moved to Switzerland. Evan G says maybe if we pull our pocket change, we can buy the brand. Yes. Buy the brand. Or we just do like James the Advisor and make our own brand. Get tired of all these other brands. Start making something ourselves. But if it's, James is right. It's hard, and it's hard to find really American made watches these days that aren't just sourced. So it's a lot of it is style and marketing. Another watch company I like, I don't know, and it's another one that sources a lot of mecha quartz movements, but we talk about Brew a lot. I like this automatic they did. It's not they're sold out, but sign up to want to know when it's back in stock. But one of the cool things on it I saw the other day, instead of an exhibition back, they have like this little window. I thought that was kind of cool on the back of their thing. But I could see myself. Okay, so I have this one, this blue face one, but I really like the quirkiness of the 8-bit. I don't know why, but you see down here in the yellow on the seconds, that's 30 to 35 seconds. That's the best time to draw your espresso shot properly, hence the name Brew. I like that it has a coffee cup on the thing. There's something fun and different about it that I like. Inspired by retro classic arcade games of the 80s. The blend of coffee and retro pixelated styling. It's just kind of an interesting looking watch. It's fun. All right, Evan G. I love his Brew watch. They're just fun. Brew watch is just fun. Weiss. Weiss is a good brand too. Kind of expensive, I think, if I remember correctly. Let's pull them up here real quick. Weiss watches in quite some time. Yeah, they're what the heck? Yeah, I know they need to update their website or how it works anyway. So they do a lot of fieldy type watches. Their 38 millimeter, 42 millimeter. I mean, this is a good looking watch with the small sub dial seconds. Doesn't run at 5 hertz though. Evan says, yeah, the Weiss guy got to start with AP. I thought that makes sense. Yes, Mitchell, they do. They don't wear huge, but they don't wear to their size specs. It's that square case that makes it wear an interesting way. It actually wears quite nice. I am a fan. Let me see. Never had a case around me, and I didn't go and look for it. But I do have, I believe. Let me see. And I have good size. My wrist is 7.6, so this will. There we go. We'll go over to the Lucha Mark Talks watch. Turn off the music so we don't get yelled at by YouTube. But that is the Brew retrograph on the wrist. But you can see it. It's my wrist is 7.6, and it doesn't look small on my wrist at all. It's a cool watch. I should wear it more, honestly. Mitchell says the larger ones wear like the large Apple Watch. The metric wears small. Yeah, I don't even think it wears that small, honestly. And I'm really sensitive to small watches. I don't even think it looks small on my wrist. My wrist is 7.6, so if it was too small, it would show up in that real quick. But yeah, I think they wear pretty good. And dig that thing out and wear it more. They're fun. Mecha Quartz is cool. Here's another watch. I'm not sure. I think this is an American company. This is Axios. They very rarely make any watches. So I guess this guy used to work for Zelos and went off and made his own company. But that Axios Pathfinder, it's another one I kind of like. I didn't really wear it, so I sold it to a friend who wanted it. And it's still one of those ones I think about every once in a while. Like, I wish I still had that every once in a while. Because again, I like those field watches. I like that kind of sandblasted dial, and the applied Arabics was cool. There's another video of it. That was a good watch. I think they do. I think they are based out of the U.S. There's the Legend Diver. Miss the Legend Diver. Good watch. I had made a bunch of videos on some of my watches. Just to have something. There's my first PRX. The first one I had was the green one. I've owned a few PRXs. I've tried to really like that watch. It's not that it's a bad watch. It's just something. It's missing something. Which I know it's very similar to this watch, but this watch is better. That was the 45 millimeter Pro Pilot I was talking about the other day. Even on my big wrist, that was a big watch. And the problem was that when I would wear it, it would the crown would dig into my hand a little bit. 45 is a big mambo. There's your Pathfinder again, G-Shock. Now there's the old Aquaterra. Good watch. Fun times. Had that watch for a long time. That was my lone Christopher Ward. Wasn't a bad watch. That was the C60 hashtag Tide. So that had the loomed dial. It wasn't a bad watch. Brett, the diver on the guy in the back of the Legend Diver is indeed wearing a watch, which is so cool. What was that? That was a Tissot Blood. The Furlan Mari, this is another company I really want to like, and I don't mind their watches. They're Mecha Quartz, which I like, but the watch was so small. It was just that was a watch that looked tiny on my wrist. What do we got here? Oh, the tag. That is a big, hefty watch. That is a solid watch. Does not get the respect. The Aqua Racer does not get the respect it deserves, I think. It's actually a pretty decent watch. The bracelet is stout on that thing. Absolutely stout. Orient action, little blood. Here's a Furlan Mari. It's just a teeny tiny little watch. It's just, I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull it off. It bothered me. Certina, Legend Diver, all that good stuff. All that good stuff. Let's go back to the Weiss watch. Different dial colors and applications. I think I prefer the black with that green strap. That olive canvas strap with the black is always a good combination. Got some leather options. Yeah, I like that olive. It's kind of a military issue looking watch, so that olive strap really works. Mitchell says, I have a Furlan Mari. Bingo, it is too small. Probably gift it to my nephew. I ended up selling it on eBay, and I didn't. There were people. So that Rosso Grigio I had was an in stock unit. It wasn't like one of the specialty ones. So I actually got what I paid for back out of it. But the guy who bought it, it was funny. Lived in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. When he bought it, I got the shipping information. I was like, "You could have saved us both a couple bucks and just driven this up to you." You know. But good looking watch, really good looking watch. Just way too small. I mean, there are some watches that when you see the case sizes and stuff and the lug to lug and all this stuff, you think, oh, it's not that bad, but then you get them on, they're too small, or sometimes they fit bigger. This one definitely wore smaller than the average watch. Like this one wears a tad bit bigger than the 41 that it proposes to me. Get Mitchell's comment off there. That it purports to be. It's definitely, even though the case is around a 47 lug to lug, when you go to that first, it's a male, because it's integrated, it's a male end link, and that thing takes it to a little over 50. So on the wrist, it does wear a little bit bigger, but I like it. I'm a big fan. But let's see what else we got here. Oh, here. Share this tab. Make myself small. And we like to talk about. I like to start off every show with breakfast. Here's some of the breakfasts that I have started the shows off with, in case anyone's curious. The omelets, scrambled eggs with salsa, hash browns, a little sausage gravy, sunny side up, scrambled with some sausage gravy and biscuits. Good stuff. Breakfast is an important meal. Do not skip your breakfast. That's your Lucha advice for the day. Do not skip your breakfast. Boom. Bada bing. There's my new Aquaterra. Oh, that's the 3 new watches I got. Okay. Its Seiko Speed Timer is a pretty solid, cool little quartz watch. Boom. Not a bad watch. I got a decent deal on it. And the guy sized my Omega bracelet for me. So that all worked out. Brett Wasserman off the meetings. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. Thanks for stopping by, Brett. Always good to see you. And again, one day I want to dive into your collection because I have a feeling it would be stuff that we would appreciate. As you guys know, I'm not really a hype watch fanboy. I buy what I like. And sometimes people disagree, but that's okay. Not a lot of people were big fans of the Zenith. I think it's the most amazing watch I've ever owned. There's the Aquaterra. That's when I got it sized the other night. I was so happy to finally have that dang thing sized. Pretty watch. Aquaterra is a great watch. I am a big Aquaterra apologist, as most of you know. If you've listened to me at all, I just think it's a really. If I had to only have one watch, it would probably be an Aquaterra, some form of Aquaterra, because it really does fit that go anywhere, do anything. The 150 meters water resistance. It's got a great movement. There's my baby, my new baby. Even as much as I like this Zenith, I think the Aquaterra is a better daily watch. And around 3,000 less at retail. Because this retails around $9,000. The Aquaterra, I think, is like 63 now. You can find deals on on either, but just good stuff. The Zenith is a cool watch. And that quick change is so quick on it to throw the rubber strap on it. Totally changes the look of the watch, the feel. The crown is super cool. The back with the star on the it just works. It just really works. Just really, really works. Chicken and waffles. That was a good breakfast. And leftover fried chicken, so I made chicken and waffles that morning. The Sega design. That was the watch I bought off of O'Sheen O'Malley. There's another PRX. The iced blue. I just sold that one. That was the Islander watch that I bought during Tim's show when Mark was on. And we had the poll to see which color I should get. More food. So I was debating on the Rolexes. I want to add another Rolex to my collection. I've owned 3. I don't have one now. I want to add one. And so it's going to be the Explorer. I left a message for my SA. I thought she was back yesterday from what's it? But more food. Here's the biggest watch I own. 54 by 58. That thing's a monster. It's a monster, I say. Look right there. This is a. I know it seems like it shouldn't make that big of a difference between a 44 and a 45, but the 44 millimeter Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot small seconds GMT doesn't. It's just that little bit smaller makes it the crown not really hit my my hand as much. I don't get quite as much dig out of that one. That was good. That's a good watch. There's the bond on the NATO. Couldn't make that work. Just couldn't make that work. There's the Ranger I just traded. Another good watch. He's that for bicycling a little bit. But there you go. Another G-Shock. That's a great G-Shock right there. The GA0011 1ACR. They just came out with a white version of this. It's kind of cool looking. But that's a pretty solid G. My G-Shocks all have to be analog. There's another analog G-Shock. Too many G-Shocks. Yama. That was another one that was a little bit small. The Rally Graph. It was a cool little watch. There's another Mecha Quartz. Mecha Quartz is like a little bit of a sickness. There's a Mino. Ended up selling that too. It was an okay watch. Oh well. Back to the drawing board. What's going on in the chat? Sorry, we went down memory lane there a little bit. Let's see. Evan G says after this GMT comes in, I'll be pretty set with Rolex outside of saving for a 1908 and a day date. So the next few years, I will want to start expanding as soon as fun. Yeah, it's fun. There's different stuff, you know. I really like the Zenith Revival Chronomaster. I'll pull that up here in a second after I go through this stuff. Mitchell says, I'm a big Omega fan. Haven't had a Rolex in 10 years, but admittedly, I will probably go for a Datejust at some point. Yeah, I've had 2 Datejusts and a sub, and it's been a while since I've had one, and I really like the 40 Explorer. I just want something simple in a Rolex. I don't need anything super, super big or expensive or anything like that. Evan says the Datejust is the quintessential Rolex, timeless and can dress upward. It is. It is the Aquaterra of the Rolex line. But all things being equal, I like the look of the Aquaterra better. I like the lugs better. I like the specs better. I like that teak dial pattern on the dial. I like the 6 o'clock date window, and it's no Cyclops. It's not, if someone said, Mark, I will give you an Aquaterra or I will give you a Datejust. You have to pick one. I would pick the Aquaterra. I would definitely pick the Aquaterra. I think it's a better watch. I honestly do. I mean, they're both mass-produced luxury items. I just think this watch clicks more boxes, does more, goes, it's a beautiful timepiece. It's got an open case back. It's a coaxial escapement. It's a double barrel escapement. It has the jump hour hand for your date and time setting, like a GMT would. So it's a great travel watch. I talk about it all the time. No secret how I feel about the Alcantara. It's no secret that one of the things I wanted to do was to upgrade. When I started looking at watches and stuff again, part of it was to upgrade my 5-year-old Aquaterra because it was just time. And I love the screen. I love the way it changes color in the sunlight. After having the blued indices and hands for so long, I really appreciate the silver. I also really appreciate that you can read coaxial master chronometer on this one, whereas on my old one, the lettering blended into the dial. So unless you were really looking at it, you couldn't see it. And the crown on this one is easier to use. So I always said that I thought there was something. It worked, but it was really hard to use. But it's line it up a little bit. It is a great watch. It is a great everyday watch. If you needed one watch to be an everyday watch, it's hard to beat the Aquaterra. And I know there's a ton of Datejust fans out there. I see Mitch, James Evire says, Datejust is my favorite watch of all time when considering money. Best bang for the buck for mid to high end in my eyes. Yeah. There are a lot of people that prefer the Datejust to this watch. I just don't happen to be one of them. And I like I said, I own a 36 Thunderbird and a 41 two-tone. And both great watches. But I didn't want to go a week without an. This is how much I like the Aquaterra. When I end up trading the Aquaterra on the Zenith, I wouldn't go a week without another Aquaterra. That's how much I enjoy the watch. I just think it's a great watch, and it really, really does everything. Evan G says my dad has a 70s Datejust that he bought brand new for like $400 back in the day. Edge and turn bezel. He used to wear it working on cars. Yeah. I think my first Datejust was somewhere in the fives, and I got like a 15% discount on it. That was the Thunderbird. And then I traded that in on the two-tone black dial sub. That was an aluminum bezel. That was probably 2003, 4, something like that I did the trade. Because I bought the first one in 2001, and then I had 2 issues with it, and it was gone for a long time. And I didn't have a big watch collection then. I was wearing a Maurice Lacroix as my when I had to send the sub in for to get fixed, and I wasn't happy about that, and I ended up trading that one in on the 41 millimeter Datejust two-tone. That was just stick indices and kind of a grayish face. But that was a great watch. It was a beautiful watch. The 41 fit me. The 36, the first one I bought, was always a little bit small. And with the turnograph, the white gold turnograph bezel on it, it fit like a little chunky. So it kind of looked weird, a little weird being kind of like Tim Wright, short and pudgy. I dropped the link for Tim Wright's gut. He did not come on, but that's okay. It's okay. I'm sure he's a busy, busy guy, But that's about it for today, I think. What do you guys think? You guys it was a good stream, I thought. Hopefully we'll get some people posting up here, checking it out after the fact. I appreciate the guys that showed up. Looks like there might be a community stream going on if you guys want to head over to there. But I appreciate everyone for coming on. I will see you on Sunday morning, of course. And we will go. He is mountain climbing. Look out. But Evan says, good shit, Mark. Thanks. Harry says, thanks, Mark. Have a good one. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate everybody who pops over whenever I do this. Again, non-monetized, non-hate, non-drama. I still go over super chat Tim here and there to show my support for him and my appreciation for him to show me how any of this works, But all things being equal, I'd rather just kind of be independent. How about affiliated? You can call me affiliated. That would be a good word for it. But it's not about, it's just about hanging out. Like I said, I consider you guys to be my friends. I enjoy talking to you about watches. and that's what makes it cool. So spread the word, have people come watch it. Like I said, I'm trying to get a couple of little quick guest interviews set up with a couple people. I think that would be kind of cool. Obviously, they want to know they're going to, that there's people watching too. So that's part of it. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe, hit that upvote and like the videos, leave comments. Those all help to get me some extra content for you. No extra money, none of that. But get a little extra content. Mitchell, ciao. All right, let's hit the exit music and such. We have our normal exit stuff here.
Recordings just got better.
Peace out, folks.